Hello, hello, hello. You're tuning into another episode of the Wunderkind Show. Another topic for today. Stephen A. Smith takes on the Ravens. Woo! It's getting hot in here. It's getting hot in here. So, listen. Today, on First Take, they were discussing on if Lamar Jackson should, or the Ravens should move off of Lamar Jackson, and if they've probably already contemplated on moving off of them. And I believe it was Darren Orlowski who was making the case that, look, Lamar Jackson has been hit 1,000 times. He has missed 7 out of the last 22 games played. And injuries are now looking to finally be taking their toll on it. So business-wise, because this was going to be brought up. Listen, they're cutthroat in business. Business-wise, they're going to bring this up to say, hey, you know, we don't think you're worth it anymore. Now, here's the funny thing. Fast forward to Stephen A. Smith, who, for the most part, has always, and when I mean always went at Lamar. Always. He's always went at Lamar. He's always made sure to be against him on certain things and other things like that. And guess what? We haven't really been able to say anything because we know that, he's the host of the First Take show, and he's going to say what he wants when he wants to, and there's no one that can stop him slowing down or do anything else to him. But today, he was singing a different tune. And the reason why it was good that he was singing a different tune was that it needs to be said. The media has a job. The job is to hold people accountable for the masses to see. And the Ravens, out of everybody, has yet to be held accountable for their wretched and putrid, surrounding of talent for Lamar Jackson. Everybody else that's been a decent quarterback has been surrounded by talent. Everybody else that's been a decent quarterback has been given leeway except for him. So now people are starting to, they're starting to call him out on that foolishness. And I'm actually going to play a clip of Stephen A. speaking on behalf of Lamar Jackson. All right, guys, take a listen. Here we go.
It's crazy. I don't think it's wild when it comes to the reality of the NFL.
I think you're insane. I think your head's insane. Your heart's in the right place. Lamar Jackson is everything to the Baltimore Ravens.
Agreed.
Lamar Jackson should consider cutting ties with the Ravens.
Exactly.
The Ravens shouldn't consider cutting ties with him. The fact of the matter is that when you look at what the Ravens have done, they are the ones that shortchanged him. They have the one that have not maxed out on his potential. They are the ones that haven't maximized the opportunities he's presented to them. So when we ask the question, should the Ravens consider cutting ties with him? No, do your damn job. Get talent around him. He can be the electrifying source that he is without having to get hit 1,000 times because he can get the ball to other people who are going to do some things with it.
Bars.
As opposed to having to do it himself. Now, if I'm Lamar Jackson, then I'm thinking about moving on. I'm thinking about moving to a franchise that is going to be hesitant to spend the money, that is going to be hesitant to give me the resources that I need. Let's take something in consideration here, okay? We have every right to lament Russell Wilson. What did you say? You go to Denver. They hand you the keys to the throne. They give you over $200 million, $165 million guaranteed in the same breath, okay? You got this coach that you fawning over, we don't know why, and you still had Sutton, you still had Jerry Jeudy, and you still had an elite defense that showed up and showed out. So much so that the defensive players were willing to get in the face of Russell Wilson because of what he ain't doing. You don't see that happening in Baltimore because everybody knows it ain't Lamar Jackson's fault. Now, Lamar Jackson hasn't had his most stellar season. And guess why?
Injuries.
Because when you know you don't have the requisite pieces around you, you may feel compelled to do more than you should because you're trying to win. And Bateman and Duvernay both going down. I mean, of course, he's going to be a big compromise. But this is about what the Baltimore Ravens have not done as an organization to surround him with. This ain't about some deficiency with him. If anything, they're the reasons he is hurt, because he has to do so much, because he's asked to do too much to overcompensate for what they lack.
Okay, so you heard that from Sister Stephen A. Smith, and guess what? I agree. Look, guys. I've listen. My thoughts, my talking points have not changed. They have. When you have somebody like a Lamar Jackson who has proven that they could do it with less, you don't say, "Oh, well, that just means that we can give him even less and he'll at least be decent, and then we can put stuff in." No. That's not what you do. That's not what you do. What you do is you say, if he could do it with this, what would he do if we gave him that? That's the problem with the Baltimore Ravens. They are content with being competitive. And competitive is a fluid word. Because what do you mean by competitive? Going positive? You know what I'm saying? Just making the playoffs? That can be ruled as competitive. Us as Raven fans, we want Super Bowls, Lombardi trophies, Super Bowl MVPs. That's what we're looking for. That's what we're garnering our attention for. He has done so much with so little. He hasn't had the greatest O-line. He hasn't had the greatest, and even with as good as the running backs have been running, he hasn't had the greatest running backs, and they've been hurt. He hasn't had the greatest wide receivers. My God. And he hasn't had the greatest coaching, much less play calling. So you're looking at him to turn water into wine. His name is Lamar, not Jesus of Nazareth. Bro, and when I say these things, people be like, "Oh, you're exaggerating or blah blah blah." Look what the Ravens look like without him. Not no other team right now that starting QB has went down has looked this putrid. We can't even score. We put up 200 yards on the ground on 20 attempts, and we garnered 3 points. The number after 2. So when you look at me, and you have to understand that now I'm laughing because everything that I've said has come to pass. It becomes very frustrating because you're looking at a generational talent literally being wasted right before your eyes. And then they'll look at the fans and say, they don't know what they're talking about. They're dumb. They're foolish. They're the people at the end of the bar. They don't know what they're talking about. Here's the thing. My name's not Stevie Wonder or Ray Charles. I have better than 20/20 vision. That's right. I have better than 20/20 vision. And what I see is a disgrace. A disgrace of offensive potential being wasted in his prime for all of the world to see. And not only are you proud of it, you think that you're allowed to get away with doing that. And so what? He's just another player we could find. You'll never find. I want to bring this up. Yeah, it needs to be said. How long did it take the Atlanta Falcons to replace Michael Vick? How long has it taken the Colts to replace Peyton Manning? Yeah. How is it going for the Saints without Drew Brees? How is it going for the Patriots without Tom Brady? I mean, we can keep going. But this is my problem, because you think for some reason, because in yesteryear you won a title without a great QB, that's viable in today's league. And it's not. It's not. The QBs that have won on their rookie contract were special QBs. Russell Wilson in his prime was special. Aaron Rodgers, special. Oh God. And to make it worse, it's not even like it's guaranteed that you would even spend or, matter of fact, invest on the offensive side of the ball if we got somebody different. So this is more than ludicrous. Your actions, your decisions are repugnant. Lost in this river of absolute desolation. And what I mean when I said, in a river of desolation, meaning they are literally digging the pit and filling it with the water that will drown them. Happily, I might add. For no other reason but ego. Imagine all this time as Raven fans clamoring, asking, praying, looking forward to getting a player at this caliber at the quarterback position. And what do? Squander it. And now instead of saying, okay, look, we made mistakes the first 3-4 years, we got to rectify, we got to make some changes. Now you're on the cusp of losing this player and saying, well, we can rebuild the team in the draft. That's what I think about that idea. Because you guys have not been good in the draft. If this was another team who is hit consistently in the draft, then maybe. The Philadelphia Eagles. I've said this, guys. You've watched these videos. You've heard me. I said after the Tua and Jalen Hurts season this year, you can't even look at Lamar and say anything anymore. Because we've seen, because Jalen was looked at as being nothing more than better than a backup at his best after last year's debacle in the playoffs. And he's going to most likely win the MVP this season. All because the Philadelphia Eagles said we're going to not only milk, juice, squeeze, extricate every bit of talent out of the quarterback position. We are going to surround him with everything we can to give him the best possibility at what? Success. So yeah, I'm a bit frustrated. Yeah, I'm a bit angry. Yeah, and I'm a bit tired because all of us knew it. The same guys at the bottom of the bar have been saying this, and now the media is just catching up with it. And then you know what's crazy? Players don't have forever to play. They don't. Do you think when they look back at his career, they're going to say, well, they were doing foolishness at the beginning? They're just going to look at the numbers and be like, oh, well, he didn't play great his first after his MVP. I mean, he had an okay year after, then the other years he was hurt and blah, 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 blah. Because context is lost in time. You understand that? Take that one to the bank. If you've never heard this before, because it's the first time you're hearing it, context is always lost with time. And what I mean by that, have y'all watched the NBA? Do y'all remember when everyone was on Kevin Durant's tail? Oh, you're going, and I was one of them. Why are you going to the Golden State Warriors? That's cheating. That's too much. You're stacking the chips. You're stacking the deck. Do you think they care about that now? Do you even think they bring it up? Nope. The only thing they bring up when it comes up with his name is a 2-time finals MVP, 2-time champion. Like, that's what gets brought up. Context is lost. Context is lost through the sea of time. And that is not only a disservice to what they're doing to Lamar, but it's a disservice to the name that the Ravens have built the legacy that they have built, the foundational pieces that they have built, because it goes after and attacks their names. Because when you're willing to not only sacrifice, but to then sit back like, so what? That means you don't care. And when you don't care, you make missteps towards other people's careers, which are not forever. They're finite. And stuff like this happen. I'd love to hear Ray Lewis's take on this, because he's remaining very quiet. But we will see. We will see. And that was another episode of the Wunderkind Show. You guys could be anywhere else in the world, but you're here with me, and you know I very much appreciate that. Please do remember, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and leave comments. You know I love talking to you guys in the comments. It helps us build a rapport, helps to get to know each other better, and you know, it just helps the channel out with everything else. So once again, this is another episode of the Wunderkind Show. This is Nitro signing off, and you guys know my slogan, don't you? Y'all do. Here it goes. Peace. Because I am out. Hopefully out like Greg Roman, Harbaugh, and EDC needs to be. Yeah!